We're back online on YouTube, and oh boy, we are back online on YouTube. Sir, please do for GDP USD. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. No problem. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Just a second. Oh. Let me. So what's the difference? Okay. All right. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's see what we have for GDP USD. Let's see if we can also have something to watch out for on GDP USD. Before we even continue, this was what we had last week. So let me remove all the drawings, and this is 4 hour time frame again, and we are back at what we have been doing. All right, for one, we can say that there was a break of structure here. And why is it important? Because it was the last one that went ahead, which means that you would expect that this low was to be respected, which it respected it for a while and then it got violated. So now that that has happened, you would expect that the market should at least pull back into this zone. You should have a reaction from this zone, most definitely. All right. So you expect to have a reaction from that zone, preferably somewhere around here. All right, preferably somewhere around here. So, but anything beyond this one is okay, and that's why I'm saying you can have it there so that you don't miss out on the trade. All right. And this is the 4 hour time frame, so this is like a whole lot of information to carry. All right. Now the market was trickling down. It was able to push back with respect to this one, which I believe was just like a reaction to clearing this liquidity. All right, so it cleared this liquidity, and now it pushed back. It was able to come to about 50%. Let's see if that was up to 50%. So it wasn't up to 50%, but we can call it a significant pullback, right? But it's not up to 50%. So there's a high chance that the market can still push back into this area. at some point. All right. But what will make that low valid is if this high is violated. Now, even though this has been violated, I don't really like how it is just weak, right? But still, it's just something that you need to know about. And now you can call this one a change of character for this movement. All right. So let's take this one out, which means that since this one was respected, there is a high chance that this will be respected, but I don't think it's going to be this one. I don't think it's going to be this one. And this is 4 hour time frame, right? This 4 hour time frame. So now that we have, or like we can tell where the market should be going to, it's either it's going here or it's going here. Now, if it is going here, it has to come here and then push down to this area. Now, if it's going to keep going up, it's just going to break above this one, do a retracement to somewhere around here, and then continue going up, right? So now we can now go to like the 15-minute time frame to see what the market is doing. So internally you can see that the market consolidated, which is showing you that you should be getting ready for a buy. When you see a consolidative movement coming downward, then you should be expecting an upward movement. And when you see a consolidative movement going upward, you should be expecting an impulsive movement in the opposite direction. You can see consolidative, impulsive, consolidative. You're expecting another expansive movement, right? Now, this one got to this level and it started consolidating. It got to this zone and it started consolidating. So one thing that you can see is that one second here. Right, so one thing you can tell is that this one took this liquidity but was able, all right, to break the structure to the upside. So even though it looked like it was a change of character here, and I'm very very sure that this must have faked out a lot of people, because even I myself would have taken this trade around this point. All right, you can see that there's a violation to the upside here. So definitely many people would have been looking for these sales here, and it's a very valid sell because there's a change of character. You would expect a pullback to somewhere around here for that change of character to be completed, right? But now that there is like a pullback, and the pullback was able to violate it, you can see now that there was a pullback into this liquidity and it was respected, all right, for a buy. That buy was also good enough to go ahead and break another structure. So which means that this low still have a very high chance of being respected when the market comes back for a buy. I know that a lot of people are also going to be looking at this as break of structure because they'll be looking at it on the 5 minute time frame. All right, so there's going to be this one. All right, so if this one is broken, it's going to sound an alarm that also there is a change of character internally. All right, for this one, which means if you get a buy from, let's say, somewhere around this zone, maybe on the 5 minute time frame, we'll see a better liquidity to target. But if you see any change of character or any small like 5 minute change of character inside this box, right, if you see any, actually it should be from this line, but if you see any 5 minute change of character in this zone, then you can target a buy. But that buy, you are targeting this area. So let's say I get like a buy here, this is what I'll be expecting. Let's say I get a buy here based on change of character on the lower time frame. Let's say I get a buy here, the target will be this one. And let's say I also get a sell here. If I should get a sell here with respect to this one, since this one would have been mitigated by that time, then the target will be something lower. That will now start telling me that the market is about to maybe do a dump or not. But for now, the first thing to be looking out for will be a buy, and that buy should come with like a confirmation entry in this zone. So if I was going to be trading GU with respect to everything that I've talked about, this is exactly what I'll be waiting for. Okay, big Silas, is that clear? And if I manage to take this buy and I am able to break above this one, then I will be looking to keep pushing and keep looking for re-entries until I get to that zone. Now it is at this zone that I will start thinking of my first, like looking for a change of character and then to look for a sell. All right. So, but that this for now in this present time, this is only valid up until here. All right. Thank you so much. All right, all right, all right, all right. I'm happy you understand that. So that is how I would approach the market if I was going to be trading JDP USD. I don't think I have plans to be trading JDP USD today. I want to be focused on BTC and gold and also synthetic. But if I see a very, very good setup, why not? I mean, we're not going to be taking so many trades like I was doing in the group chat before. So it's going to be a lot. For those of you who hate conservative trading, well, since I've already done all my setup and everything is back, it is time to return back to the drawing table. I know when you guys got to know me, you all saw how I used to trade. It is what you will expect now. All right, so we are going to be resetting back to those days where we can be for a few days and will not take a trade. If we don't see a trade, we'll not take a trade. So we might have a live section. You guys remember at the beginning there is some time where we have live sections of 7 hours and only a few trades, like maybe one trade or something, or even sometimes there is no trade at all. So yeah, have that in mind. Okay. And again, the live section is going to be a little bit more improved now, in the sense that if I am not leaving the house, let's say I'm still in the house, then there is no reason for me to end the live section. Before, I will have to end the live section obviously if I need to use my phone, if I need to do something. But since I'm now using Live Studio, which is me sacrificing views for better content, I believe those who are meant to find me will definitely find me. So there's no point in trying to rush it. But since I'm going to be using Live Studio and my system is definitely going to be like on like most times, right? Since my system is going to be on like most times, it means that I might be um, I might be live for an extended period of time. So you don't need to bother about leaving at some point if you're stressed. You don't need to bother about leaving. You can go do your own thing, and then you can always you know know that you're going to find somebody in the live section. Please, don't be angry. Please help me on how to get directional bias on pairs. All right. So to get your directional bias on pairs, it's just like what we just did for you on GDP USD. You see how we went to like the 4 hour time frame first. We started at the 4 hour time frame. And if you now zoom out, you can see that this is where you are playing. This is where you are playing at. If I was to be zoomed into this zone, if I was to be zoomed into this place alone, all right, so if I was to be zoomed into this alone, you'll be thinking that life revolves only around this zone and this zone alone. If I was to be zoomed into this zone, that is what you'll be thinking, right? That's what will be ringing in your head. But now that I zoomed out, I can now you can now see that where is it called? Now that I zoomed out, one shoot. Now that I zoomed out, you can now see that the direction is coming from like the higher time frame. All right. So even though that I'm waiting for like a sell at this point, because I was able to zoom in, and there was a point where I said after this impulsive move, maybe I did not do this one, but you see that trade from here also. All right. So it is when you have done like your first analysis on like the higher time frame, like the 4 hour, 1 hour, depending on what time frame you want to trade on. You go to like the higher time frame, and then you just get what is the goal of this particular move. So I can't see that the 4 hour is hoping to get to somewhere, and then I'll be killing myself on the 1 hour looking for sales when the 4 hour is more in the favor of buys. Let's use GBP, JPY. You think you are smart now? Abi? You should have just asked directly that which one is shady wine. GDP JPY. All right, let's see. So GDP JPY, and I will do it in terms of having that. No, 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 no. Hey, bro, I'm just playing. I'm not angry. Forget. I'm just playing. No offense taken at all. All right. So remove drawings, and let's see. So for GDP JPY, what I would do, and since this is the 4 hour time frame, right? This is the 4 hour time frame. What I will ask myself is, which one took the most liquidity and what structure have been broken? All right. So for starters, you can see that this market pulled all the way down here, was able to even take this structure, all right. It took the structure, which is also a very very respected low, right? Because the structure came all the way down here before breaking structure to the upside, as you can see here. All right, so it broke structure to the upside, as you can see here, but it did all that before breaking structure. So originally you would expect that the market will, like respect this low, but for some reason it violated it. And even though you can say that that might be like a liquidity takeout and all that, the fact that it violated it makes it like makes this one weaker, which now makes this one stronger, right? So you would expect now that when the market is coming, it should react in this zone and start going down. And you can now see that it has also violated the top. All right, so it is now directional, right? It is bi-directional, and you would expect that the market will keep going up. But one thing to note is that after it did that, it did a series of liquidity grab, which you can now look into. So on this 4 hour, you can see it took that liquidity. You can call this one an internal break of structure, right? Internal break of structure with respect now to this low. All right, this is the low that break of structure is valid until. All right, the thing that people are not paying attention to is that they are talking about break of structure or change of character, but they are not asking themselves, okay, yes, it is a change of character. Where do you expect it to manifest to? All right, this change of character is valid with respect to what? All right. So now, when you see it, like if I see a change of character in this loop, it is valid with respect to this last break of structure. So now, since this one was the last break of structure, it is the leg that broke this structure to the upside, right? Since it's the leg that break the structure to the upside, this change of character that you see on the 4 hour time frame is valid with respect to this one. So any trade that you are taking, let's say you took this trade based on this change of character on this 4 hour time frame. So if I would have taken this trade based on this change of character, let's say I entered maybe with some confirmation somewhere around maybe above this liquidity now. Let's use this one as liquidity. Let's say this is what warrants my entry based on that change of character. All right, the stop loss would have been somewhere above this area, and the target, and this is what I'm talking about, should be anything around 50%, any liquidity inside of this area, but the overall target will be this one, because that is where the change of character, or should I say the change of character, it is heading to. Why? Because it is the origin of that move. All right, and the last liquidity that you can find in that zone, which will be this one now, is what you'll be targeting. Now, this would have been a very very like jaw-dropping trade. It looks like he wanted to go and take it, but then it didn't. Now that also tells me that this one has already gone, taken liquidity be behind this one, and now it has done like a second break of structure to the downside. What did that now tell me? That is now telling me that if the market can be very generous enough to retrace back into this one, then I could look for a sell for this continuation. So I could look for a sell from here to continue this newfound trend that I have. I'm talking about this one break of structure, this one now. So I'll be looking for a sell up there for a continuation to the downside, because this is showing me that the market is in a downtrend. All right. Now, having that in mind, since there is also a pullback internally here, all right, there's a pullback internally here that went above liquidity. The market might decide to leave this liquidity for now. All right, it did a pullback above liquidity, and then you can also see a break of structure. And the reason why I'm pointing out all these things is because we are looking on the 4 hour time frame right now. We have not even gone on the lower time frame. So all these little things that you might not be considering, they are actually, even this one too that is hiding internally here, is very important, and that's why you see it manifesting right now on the market. All right, it's very important, and when we zoom in later, you are going to see it. All right, so now that there was that, let's use that one instead. So there was this break of structure, and then there was this pullback. So let's see if there was any liquidity that was targeted, and if there's any liquidity, then you could also call that one like a pullback into liquidity, and a new break of structure is formed. All right, so 1 2, so you're expecting to keep driving this one until like you get to that your goal. Or if it breaks, you know that the overall is up there. You're only taking a sell here because you see a break of structure, or should I say a change of character. And let's investigate that further on the 15-minute time frame. All right, so on the 15-minute time frame, this is what we are talking about. All right, now there was a move above liquidity. Preferably, you would have loved that this market should come all the way to this top here. Let me put this one aside. So you would have loved for this one to come all the way to this top here, because that's like the final liquidity contained in this zone before this break of structure to the downside, right? So that's the final liquidity that is contained in this zone. So you would have loved to see the market pull all the way back into this one before you start going, so that you know that there is nothing to see here. All right, so now that the market was coming back, and you also have established that the market can choose to leave this liquidity behind for later and just decide to, turn back from here. And how do you know that it's going to turn back? You know that it's going to turn back because you saw this. All right, it might be a news event or something, but you saw that there is a break of structure here. All right, now this is not a confirmed break of structure. Why? Because a break of structure here would also have like this target in mind to go and target. So it would have been an internal break of structure for this. So you would have been waiting for the market to get here. And the fact that the market went to go and violate it instead of going to respect it, that is now what we warrant the fact that you'll be looking for a trade here. Because let's not forget that this one also took care of business before breaking structure to the downside. You can see that how I'm adding all these confluences to tell myself, okay, this is the reason for this is the reason for this. If I'm also going to be taking a trade, that will also be a reason. Now, since there is no any internal liquidity in this zone, there is no any internal liquidity, I believe that this should be a news event, or that this should be a news move. There should definitely be some news event or something that happened that would have caused this market to go all the way to this point where it is right now. So all you need to do, since there is no liquidity to target, and looking for or hoping for the other block to be respected, might be a big hustle. What you now do is you pull up your Fibonacci retracement, which will be this one to this one, and you expect a pullback to 50%. You can see clearly that the market has gone above 50%. So after it goes above 50%, you start looking for like a change of character on like this 15-minute time frame. And yes, if you saw this one and you took the trade, you are not wrong. If you saw this change of character here and you took the trade, you are not wrong. It was a valid trade. So you can see it took liquidity and then it changed character to the downside. So yeah, ideally, if you're looking for a sell, you would have looked for the sell from some liquidity point here, maybe from somewhere around here. And yes, you'll be looking for the continuity, but then this would have been the target for that trade here, because this is the structure that was broken. All right, so based on this one, this is the structure that was broken. But since this structure was not taken, you can see that this one kept going until it did another change of character again, and that one happened above liquidity, right? Did another change of character here. So you could have just been following this market on this 15-minute time frame and just keep following what the market is doing. So you can see how it went up and then broke structure to the downside. And yes, if that one did not go well, let's say this trade stopped you at break even, you could have still attempted this one from here. You can see that liquidity point up there. You could have attempted this one from here with your stop loss above there. Still, you are targeting the liquidity inside of this one, because that's the origin of this leg, right? So you will be targeting the liquidity inside of that one, and you would have gotten yourself a trade there. So now after that one is done, you can now call this one, because there was a pullback. This whole thing becomes one now, because it is contained inside of this entire move, right? So now this moves from here to here, makes this whole place and this whole place one big move. So now you are trading with respect to this entire formation. You are taking decisions with respect to this entire formation. Also, because there was a break of structure to the downside here, which means the market is now tuning or getting ready to go down. Since you have that in mind, you can now say that the retracement should come back into the liquidity. Everything now that is seated above this one becomes the liquidity. And you can see how I'm taking it step by step to be getting my directional bias. Everything that is sitting inside of this place now becomes the liquidity. And you can see when the market tapped into it, it gave that very, very nice sell to the downside. Now, if you were not paying attention, maybe because you are just too concerned about your selling pressure, or because you are so concerned about your selling bias, you forgot that this one also was like a violation, which will mean that this low could be respected, could be respected, all right? And you can see that it was respected at some point, all right? It was respected for a while. Now, since the market is still strong at this point, when you are buying from here, let's say you got into a buy from here, since it is coming from this low, you expect it to go for this high, unless there is a change, an official change of character like this one that you saw here. So you can see that this move came from this low, so you expected this low to be respected, so you expected this one to be respected. And what do you see? The market came into that low, respected it, but the boss at the top said, no, I have a bigger message for you, and I really want you to keep going down. And then you can see that this now gave like the final change of character in this lower time frame. Having that in mind, you can now tell yourself that you are going to be looking for sales, but the best place to look for sell at this point will be here, because when the market decides to pull back, it should definitely react into this one. So for now, on the lower time frame, on this 15-minute time frame, it might just continue going on this lower time frame structure. So if you have the mind for it, you can just be looking for any sales that you see within this range. This one is valid, but just know that the major one is the one that is sitting above your head there. So this one might be good. This one was already kind of like mitigated, right? So you see this clear of liquidity before they move down. That's the reason why it was respected. So this one is still valid. If the market should pull back into this one on the 15-minute time frame, and you can get like a change of character on the 5-minute time frame, or an engulfing candle on the 15-minute time frame, you can look to take a 1 to 3, but just know that you are already like at the base of your target, so you should be playing cool, 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 cool. All right, so that's what I'll be looking for until any of this other one get violated, and that is how you can narrow your trade down. Remember, your original 4-hour trade, the goal for that trade is still all the way down here. So I won't be surprised to be seeing this consolidative movement up until this market gets here. So you can be cashing all this little one until this market, and that's why I left this one here. So this will just be reminding me that the 4-hour is telling me that the market is going down. So anything that I'm looking for here should be with respect and should be with alignment to this one. All right, so if the market decides to pull back all the way to this one, I can still attack it from here. That will still be a continuation for this trade. All right, until that happens, I'll just keep it there as a reminder, and I'll just be following what is going on in the lower time frame. And on this 15-minute time frame, you can see that for now the market has not changed any character. Now let's say that it goes above this one. All right, it goes above this place, then you can start looking for like a buy. Potentially, if it goes above this one, you can start looking for a buy to go and meet up with this one. So I hope that is clear enough. For GJ, I use this as an opportunity, like I use that as an opportunity to kind of like give you both the directional bias and how I go from like the higher time frame up till the time frame that I'm looking for a trade. All right, so that is going to tell you what the market should be looking to do. That way you are not going to be like taking every trade that you see in the market. All right, and that's why it's hard for me to be you know sometimes you just see trades going and I'm not doing anything. That's why. So big Silas, I hope that that was uh, that was clear enough. I hope that that was explanatory enough. Camera source is required. Yep, yep, yep. All right, all right, all right. So good. Let's go back to our gold and BTC, which obviously is still playing the Asian section game. And BTC is also not yet giving me what I want to see. I've seen two bearish candle on the 15-minute candle. This is the pullback. This is what you expect as a this is what you expect as a retracement. So let's see if that one will fail. If it fails, we get in for a sell. If it fails, we get in for a sell. But for now, it is not giving us anything tangible yet on the 15-minute time frame. It gave us that, but good thing we never got involved in it. So let's see if this one is going to flip. If there is a new candle that flips before this change of character, oh, sorry, if there is a new candle that flips before the market goes above this one, we will look for a sell. or will take a sell. But since there is no candle that flips here, you guys know that this market can keep buying up until this area. All right, so you can go all the way to this final liquidity, and you might not be seeing it on this 15-minute time frame, but if you go to like the 5-minute time frame or the 1-minute time frame, you see that that's like the final liquidity contained in this zone. So if the market wants to keep going, you can still keep going all the way to that area. And if that is what it's going to be doing, we're just going to be waiting for when the market is settled. All right. So let's wait, and let's just keep waiting. The reason why I had this line here is because you can see we could use this one as liquidity, which you can clearly see that it respected. All right. So there's a reaction to it. It's just not where it wants to stop, or it's trying to tell you that it's time for me to change character, and it's generating the liquidity that you should hold on to when the market is ready to buy. I really appreciate, sir. You welcome. You welcome. You welcome. You welcome. Right. Pretty sure I kept this thing somewhere. So for now, we are just waiting. Okay, we are just waiting. Nothing to do yet. No confirmation yet. So we are just waiting. Unless there's a question, I'm coming. Let me ease myself. Oh God. So where did I drop? Shame I old. I don't hold. My old to be forgetting this early. Why am I forgetting so early? Guys, I still did 18k likes. First few minutes I reached 18k. I still did. Sir, what of how to know your BSL and SSL? What's the full meaning of that? What's BSL and what's BSL and SSL? Buy side liquidity and sell side, bro. All those things not really they concern me. Me, I just know say if there's a break of structure, right? If there is a break of structure, me, I'm just following the structure, right? If there is a break of structure, I target the last liquidity from the origin of that break of structure. All right, that's all I do. There's a break of structure, uh, whether for entry or exit. There's a break of structure I just target. For example, you see, um, let's say for example, I'm taking this trade. All right. The origin of this leg right now, you can say that the origin of this leg right now is. You can say that the origin of this leg right now started from here. All right. So there's this is the origin of this leg. This is where it started from. All right. All I need to do is to look at the order flow inside, which one is connecting to which one. Okay, so first of all, I can tell that this liquidity was not taken. So this last liquidity was not taken, so I can hold that accountable and say that this is the final liquidity in this zone. Now with respect to this one, you can tell that this one also cleared all this, whether it took the final one or not, it cleared this one, all this liquidity, and it was a structural retracement, a structural retracement. You can see it retraced structurally before it got violated. So ever since it got violated, the market has not even done a deep retracement into this one. All right, so now since this is the overall, for me, I will just mark this one out and I will say this, I expect that all this one will be taken as liquidity. Another thing to note is liquidity for me is like um uh the 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 last reaction before the actual break of structure. All right, so if you are considering based on this as break of structure, if you ask, because this one is internal with respect to this one, right? Everything from here to here, how do I do this? So everything from here to here is one, because it only happened after this break. So this one that you are seeing here, I don't see that break of structure. The real break of structure happened here. The last reaction to this high that makes it a valid break of structure, the last reaction to this high that makes it a valid break of structure was this entire reaction. So I like to see the liquidity below that entire reaction taken if the market is coming back from the the big top. All right, so if the market has to go all the way to the final liquidity, this is what me I consider as liquidity, either buy side or sell side. I don't really consider that one. All right, another thing that I would like to see is my definition of a strong high or a strong low is dependent on what level of liquidity has it taken. So you can see this one took all that liquidity, even though the market did like it wanted to break structure to the top side. You can see how it moved and it took all this liquidity first before breaking structure to the upside. Now I can have this place as a reasonable low to look for buys also if the market retraces back into that area. All right, so even though I have like an overall target where I would hope, because the break of structure that you are talking about now is with respect to this one. All right, so it has gone above this one. If you are talking about this one, the base for this one is here, which means the base for this one too is also here, but this one is also another structure internally. So with this one, I'll hold anything that is contained inside of here as, I don't know whether you call that one sell side or buy side. Okay, I don't even know which one is it, to the up side that is sell side or to the downside, but just know that everything that is contained inside here is liquidity for me to target if this market does a change of character at the top where it is right now. So if I'm targeting all these things, is liquidity for me to target. So I might be doing that, 1 to 3 pull back, 1 to 3 pull back until I get to this area, just like I said on BTC, right? You can see after this break of structure, I'm just going to keep waiting until it gets to this final one. Is either it does that or it gives me a structural change of character. Structural in the sense that if you go to like the 5 minute time frame, you will see structure being formed internally. And then for it breaking a structure, for the thing violating a structure, is what is going to tell me that okay, this is a good place to trade from. So yeah, that's my take, and that's how I see it, bro. Oh boy, to talk no easy. Oh. What the? But sometimes last week I was not feeling like this. I mean, because you don't taste more. You're welcome, bro. Look, bro, that might not be the finest explanation of that particular topic you asked, but that's just the best I can do. Okay, like me, I don't trade based on sell side, buy side. I just know liquidity as it is, and that's how I understand it. That's how I like to use it. So maybe you can also check online to see if there is a better explanation that can help. Uh, you know, there definitely should be. All right, bro. It's good. Now Black Jesus. So. No, don't worry, bro. See, the more the liquidity that is generated below your entry, the more the liquidity that is generated, and that is why those who are patient will eat the fattest bone when it comes to this particular trade, right? The more the liquidity that is generated, you see all this inducement that is doing right now, the more the liquidity that is generated, the stronger the high. Because now it means that when the market is coming, it has enough reason to not go back. Imagine if you are looking for 10 passengers and you had a mind of going all the way to this high, all right? So as the driver, you were hoping to go all the way, you were hoping to drive all the way to this place Gwagwalada to find passengers before you can move to Lokoja or anywhere you are going to, all right? If you see all the passengers here, will you still have to move to Gwagwalada to go and take all those people? No, there's no point. All right. So if there is enough liquidity generated here, it gives you more assurance for this trade that you are about to take here as a sell. So yeah, let it print. It is even good that you are not in a trade right now that is doing all this, all this jaga 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 that is doing here. It is good for me. This is a good thing. It's good stuff. All right. So if I don't like it that is delaying, but if it is doing all this, it's just good stuff. Yep. That's another thing. That's another way of looking at it, and you might be able to get over your impatience. This is what me I often consider when I'm taking a trade. I see all these things and I'm like, okay, how can it help me? Not stop thinking the negative always. Always think about how does it help your situation, or how does it tell you to maybe abort the trade. Because I mean, after, let's say this thing just kept going, and then it is reacting from this base. Let's say it is reacting from somewhere around here, all right? And by the time it's coming, it has done enough. Let's say it does something like this, all right? Let's say it does something like this, enough structure, and then I see a violation here, I will still take it as a buy because there's a high chance that it might even go and violate this one and take it for liquidity. I focus on two or three, but I take trades as they come. Alright, so since it's not as if I'm jumping into every trade, right? Since I'm not jumping into every and any trade, I can take any trade. I can take trade on any pair. So far, the pair is ready, but it is always very very good to. It's always very very good to. It's always very very good to have like two that you can consistently be looking into. Why does this person tell me to? So how many pairs? Okay. Choose bold and bro, me, I can have trade on many pairs. So I can have up to 7 pairs that I'm interested in trading. Good morning. 12 don't do now. So 12 don't do. Me too. Don't be the same Kaduna everybody. Just like it. Is spoiled. Since when? Okay. No, 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 no. I don't enter with limits. I don't enter with limits, bro. I enter with confirmation candle. You guys remember now? I've said that I've reset back to my former way of trading. So it's not going to be with limits. We're going to be here live. So when the thing is happening, you see it live. Unless if you are not going to be live, you can just pay attention to that area that I'm talking about and you know whatever. So wait, what's up? Yeah, what's your face? Kaduna don dey suffer my babe ooo. Na so na dey do for Kaduna. Come Kaduna, come Kaduna. I hear you say make I come. I want to survive for one day. Eh? I no even anything like this. Okay, na because I really appreciate for what you taught me tonight. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for having me, and thank you for also being attentive. It's only those who are very, very passionate about learning that would have said what you are saying right now. So yeah, it's a pleasure having you also, bro. Big ups and keep grinding, bro. All of us we dey inside this struggle together. All right. Hey, my setup is now complete. Everything is now complete. Are you okay? You have not been able to join the live section, of it, and it looks very. Eh? Is everything? I know they use phone now. Now live studio I go back to. You know, say my head counts don't reduce again. I only 11 people they watch me like this. But I no get choice. I will just continue with this one. Maybe by force. If people go watch, they go watch. All right. Good night. See you later, brother. See you later. So you see, this is the setup. It looks very, very good on phone. If you check it, you will see. It looks very, very good. And now, say, I know even and the YouTube also everything. I don't figure those ones out, sure. So hopefully, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know. I might do it as a multi guest if I have a second phone. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I would use those my two accounts, but I'll use my two accounts. So I'll use one. I'll use the main one where everybody know, but I will put them for tripod for tripod. So that's the problem. That's the problem. It could still be confusing. I will just stick to this one. If people call me, they call me. They don't call me. But the problem now is TikTok. They give me warning. They tell me say my life say na copy, say na something where person else don't do. So they know they recommend that give people. Now why you know they see people there? And I know they do anything. I know they even play music. For the TikTok studio, I'm not playing. I'm not playing music. I'm not even showing YouTube. I'm not showing anything. But they still keep telling me that they are not recommending my life because it's something that somebody else has done and all that. So now only people will search my name directly or will know me directly or will click on my picture. They don't even put them for that search. They don't put them for that search. You know that search where they do on top where you will come up for your phone. I will put them for there. Now why people know the same? Why people know the job? So I don't know. I might just have to sacrifice that because doing it like this without the phone is way less like it's better. Even the sound, everything is okay. How less viewer. But you know now at some points I think that first week where the thing is pretty serious, when I afternoon I still get up to 50 now. So it don't really matter. Even if not 50, even if not 10, make I just continue. If I continue like this, definitely some people will get me for money to dey join every day. So not be something wey I need force. So even now sef my face dey show for the group. I don add that one too. What up? Maybe that's a sound now. Okay, this one. They don't dey go nowhere. I don't stop to the plan. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I didn't know that I was gone, but yeah, wait for you. I'm back. everything will fall in place now. I needed a little bit of time to fumble. Are you okay? Yeah. Huh? You angry? It's inside. It's sleeping. It's in okay now. Okay, it's not okay. So yeah, I need to make my speaker. Mommy, I go sleep soon. Oh, I go sleep soon. Oh, but it's on tomorrow. Nothing will happen this night. The market is so cold. Market is not giving any trading opportunity. If you enter the market now, you have the high chance of getting stuck in a consolidation. So I don't know. Again, like I said, if it gives me BTC gives me like a 15 minutes, another 15-minute engulfing candle, I'll get in, alright, for itself. So, but for now, it hasn't gotten to where I wanted to get to. This is just liquidity, which is okay, but pending what it's going to give me. Right now, it is changing. The form factor is changing. Let's see if it can give like another break of structure. Then we'll get in. Oh, it's better now. And this one just no one briefly. All these ones are one brief. Yeah? I know send them again. I know send them again. Hmm? I don't know. Good night. Bye bye. Okay. TC closing 15 minutes is closing as a week again. We definitely need that engulfing candle. No engulfing candle on the 15-minute on the 15 minutes, no trade. And you might be asking why I did not go with a trade here. It's because it is not engulfing anything. It is a bearish candle, a serious one at that. Well, there was no challenge. There was nothing to base it upon. All right. So something like this would have been very very nice, or this one would have been very very nice. But this one, you can see, it's still fumbling. So it's still teasing people in to take them out. So if you're taking a trade here, if you're taking a trade here, if you're entering a trade here, this is what we call decisional area. Market is trying to decide, do I have enough passengers for this journey, or do I go back for more liquidity? And now the nearest liquidity is the one you are seeing inside of this zone. And since the market has not gotten to that area, we will just need to sit and wait out all this noise, all this one that is happening here. So you don't need to bother, you don't need to like stress. Just keep watching until that gives like a full engulfing candle or nothing. Right. Thank you for 19k likes, guys. Can you take me to 20k? I have 19. Sorry, I have 15 people watching me right now, and two gifters, and I don't know if people are not liking. Eh? Thank you, though. Thank you. 15 people for 19k likes is already epic. But TikTok is saying that I've had 521 unique people here, so yeah, definitely I deserve a like. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Ooh, 20k. Where is all those there? This thing said. Where do I clap for you people? Play together. Try and do this one again. How do I clap? Come and learn. How do I clap? Fan promote, promote. Right. Promote. Promote. What's that? 15 minutes open and quickly went down. That's bad news. You should have created a week before the flip. So get more with live promote entry step. Choose your goal, choose your live viewers, set your budget. What's my budget? Hmm? What? In 1 hour. Recommended. Okay. Price deduction, coin balance. Okay. I'm going to use it now though. Coin balance. Minus. Oh, more followers. Oh. Ah. Okay. Okay. Coin balance, not. Oh, TikTok, right. Sir, on gold, are we going to sell? No, not yet. Should we use sell limit? No, not yet. I just answered this guy now. I am not. We are not using sell limits on gold. We are not using sell limits. It's confirmation entry because we are in an uptrend. You cannot be setting limits on an uptrend. Like you cannot be setting sell limit on an uptrend. That's dangerous, bro. We need to wait for it to pull back into it. If you really want to try, if you think you want to try, my entry will be at around here. Stop loss will be here. Just visualize this on the 15-minute time frame. All right. So look at this on the 15-minute time frame. Go to your chart. If you really want to set a sell limit, if you have the boss for that, if you're not waiting for confirmation, it's still very valid. Although since me I'm going to be here, there's no need for me to set limits because again, when the market is coming back to this zone, where it's coming from matters, all right? Where it is coming from matters. So even though this is a sell formation, if it is coming from a buy formation, it can get violated. So I'm not going to be setting limits. I am going to be waiting to take a direct entry, like to make a direct entry based on observation of the body language of the market. So if the market is slowing down when it is approaching this zone, then I'll be looking for a sell. You get? So it's not going to be a limit something. It's not going to be a limit trade. For me, it's not a limit trade. But if you want to set a limit, just visualize this and do it on your phone on your own MT5. This is the 15-minute time frame. Stop loss goes above the formation, entry goes above this little one, and we should be good. On the 5 minutes, it looks like this. All right. So that other block, that's what you'll be using on the 5 minute. All right. So anyone is good. Depends on which one you want to do. But I'm not going to be using sell limits. And since it's already morning, I might go to bed soon because nothing is really happening here, right? Same thing. Both BTC is the one that is most interesting right now. I am looking for it to get into this zone. All right. So after it gets into this zone, I want to see a candle like this. This is the type of candle that I'm talking about. I want to see an engulfing candle, a bold candle like this one or this one. All right. So if I see any of this type of candle, you can see it is always after these candles that you see the big moves, right? So if I see any of these engulfing candles, then I'll get in. Stop loss will be above the zone, but for now it is not. It is not time. And since it is just wicking up and down, it's just telling you that the market is still about to, go for more liquidity. So yeah, no limits. Same thing, same thing. Just waiting. I'm just waiting for the market to cook, and then I eat. I see. Okay. So, mhm. Wow, wow, wow. She's promotion pack. Oh. Mhm. Recommended. All right. G you doing absolutely nothing. Everything is just chilling. Everything is just playing. There's really nothing that is serious right now. So guys, I think it's about that time that we should just take a rest and we come back tomorrow. There's always going to be more opportunities. It is a good thing that we have been able to figure out how to set everything up. I'm also very, very happy. So we will come back tomorrow. Okay? Nothing is really giving any opportunities right now, so you're not missing out on anything. We'll just chill and we wait for tomorrow. Cool? See you all lovely families tomorrow. And maybe I'll have my throat back before tomorrow. So have a nice night, have a nice day. There's no more questions, I guess. Please peace out. It's peace out time. Tomorrow morning at 8, I am going to be on live section. I'm going to start my trading day tomorrow with you guys, and that's going to be like the London section all through to New York section. And if I still have the strength, then we continue from there. All right. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a fun night. Have a nice night, and let's hope that since we are beginning tomorrow, is going to be a very good day. Okay. Peace. Likewise, YouTube, thank you for having me.